people create, use, store and make available digital information. Some of that information is important to preserve for the future, for example, as cultural heritage. But only a very small percentage of the world's population has ever heard about digital preservation. An even smaller percentage has been trained to the level of digital preservation expert. Making digital heritage visible, usable and sustainable requires a lot of outreach, training and advocacy. That is why the Dutch Digital Heritage Network finds it important to recognize excellence in these areas. That is why we sponsor the Digital Preservation Award for Teaching and Communications. All finalists for this award are about learning, but they have different target groups and different ways of delivering the material. Some are more practical, others more theoretical.
The aim of this project was to extend digital preservation skills and knowledge through collaboration and co-creation. Led by staff at the National Library of Wales, it used the Teams platform to engage interactively with a wide audience in the archives, library, museum, academic and other public sectors across Wales. It was rooted in promoted learning through doing, solving issues collaboratively and learning together, and had two strands: the Saving the Bits programme and Co-Creation Digital Acquisition Workshop. The Saving the Bits programme aimed to increase digital preservation capacity within the cultural sector. The 6 sessions of the programme covered theoretical principles, but the focus was placed on putting this theory into practice. Videos were created for digital preservation processes, showing how they could be achieved using Archivematica, also through a manual standalone system. The selection of tools to support digital preservation were demonstrated, and how they were installed and used. Using the specialist skills of library staff, topics including standards, international image interoperability framework, digital creation and metadata were all covered. Over 100 people joined the sessions, raising issues through the chat function and sharing their own experience of digital preservation. The library's new 5-year strategy places an emphasis on contemporary collections and sharing and developing digital know-how. A cross-library team has been established with a wide range of skills to develop the workflows to ensure that born digital content acquired by the library is authentic, reliable, accessible and preservable over time. This required documentation for accession and a workflow to ensure that content transferred to the library would have sufficient information for accession and not corrupt content already held. In order to test the guidance for external transfer was clear, an interactive workshop was held with students from Aberystwyth University who followed the guidelines, completed the transfer form and metadata template, and uploaded the package to the library. The workshop revealed a few issues in the process which can now be resolved. Learning by doing has achieved its aim of extending digital preservation skills and knowledge to a wide audience across Wales. The interactive nature of the sessions has meant that learning has been done together and has resulted in a repository of resources available to all at the Archives Wales website, providing information, PowerPoint presentations, videos to embed and sustain this learning. For what it has achieved throughout Wales and beyond, this project deserves to be seriously considered for this award.
ICA's training programme team developed the Managing Digital Archives online learning course to meet ICA's goals of capacity building in the archives community around the world and to identify and support the most innovative approaches and important developments. It's self-paced, anyone with a computer and internet can access it. It's international in scope, available in French and English. The team's practitioner translators adapted the materials into French, identifying comparable francophone resources and translating items previously unavailable in French. Each section represents a vital stage in the life cycle of managing digital archives. The course provides a thorough explanation of what is needed and why, as well as how to do it, using specially created learning materials such as working definitions, diagrams, demos, and special topics focusing on featured standards and examples of good practice.
Learners are introduced to the collaborative community of digital archives and preservation practice and encouraged to contribute to it as they continue their own professional development. A comprehensive and pragmatic course in its own right, it also fills the gap between university course modules on digital archives management, on-the-job learning, and short training courses. It requires around 60 hours of study time. The content guides learners through a detailed examination of the range of options for digital archives and preservation. It equips them with the understanding and knowledge to identify the best approach to implement and sustain their own digital archives program. A steady number of learners are signing up for the course each month. Since it is embedded in ICA through the training program, one of its strategic priorities, there is a commitment to maintain and update it over time. We are investigating financial assistance options to be able to make the course available to the broadest international audience and optimize its impact. The course gives learners the opportunity to create a portfolio of worked exercises and documentation tailored to their individual or institution's needs. All the course materials lend themselves to repackaging as practical tools and guidelines for anyone to use. Our next step is to make these materials freely available in ICA's online resource center in both English and French. We are also working on ways to adapt the content for face-to-face or online training and workshops.
The course was conceived by the principal author, Dr. Nancy McGovern, based on 30 years' experience in the digital preservation field. The rest of the team provided pedagogical design, subject matter expertise, French translation and adaptation, content review, and tested the course online. This unique combination of knowledge and practice from around the world contributed to its quality. We'd like to thank the Digital Preservation Coalition, the judges, and the Dutch Digital Heritage Network for giving the Managing Digital Archives course this amazing opportunity. We are honoured to have been selected as finalists.
An MA in Archives and Records Management is a conversion course. It's one entry route into the Archives and Records profession, and it's been offered by the Information Studies Department at Aberystwyth since the early 1990s. Our course is accredited by both the Archives and Records Association and SILIP, and its origins were in the History Department at the university. Because of its origins, our course had a very historical slant, and we felt that we needed to redesign the curriculum so it aligned much more closely with current archives and records practice. This would ensure that the workforce skills requirements for modern record keeping were met, and that our graduates continued to be employable in the changing job. So to do this, we adopted a format-neutral pedagogical underpinning so that digital record keeping was integrated as a core concept throughout the course, rather than specialist modules around digital record keeping as formerly. And this also had to align with relevant generic and specific subject statements, particularly those by the QAA in the UK, and also those from Archives and Records Association. And so you can see here the module structure before the redesign, and where it's highlighted in red, these were the ones with a significant amount of digital information presented, and you'll see that digital preservation was an optional topic as part of one module, and records and information governance had a large amount of digital content. After the redesign, digital content is much more integrated throughout the whole digital course. Preservation has been repositioned as part of a core module, and the Records and Archives Practical project now has a large amount of digital material available for the students to work. Time, 49 months, with 28 months of pre-delivery preparation, 21 months teaching the first full-time cohort while we prepared distance learning materials. And then our first cohort, we had to completely redesign all the activities to take account of COVID and teaching online for 2 terms. We've had some good outcomes. All the students are now qualifying with theoretical knowledge and practical experience of managing digital materials. They see digital material as business as usual because it's embedded across the course rather than being made special or othered in specialist modules. And all early indicators is that our new course students are competitive in the job market. We've had 1 full cohort go through, and the second cohort are now completing their dissertations, and several of them have already acquired professional jobs.